obviously knew that they would end up in LA because that was Meghan's dream. Her dream was to be an A-lister, and she was unable to make it to those A-list parties.
There is absolutely zero doubt in my mind. Rachel Meghan Markle was a semi-expensive yacht girl, and she knows it.
I think she knows where the bodies are buried. You know, remember, she used to scheme with Princess Diana about how they could take down the family back in the 90s.
Wow, that really is just so insane. I just never thought that my life would ever end up here.
The terms of the lease say that as long as Prince Andrew maintains the upkeep of the property and the repairs and the renovations, then he is within the terms of the lease, and therefore it is very difficult to remove him or for him to...
I always say, you know, he and Fergie, they've never met a dodgy billionaire they don't like. They've never met a dodgy sex offender they don't like.
Many of you have seen this picture already. You see that there's Meghan with her Cajuna hat.
It's frustrating.
Prince Andrew is being stripped of his prince title. But why now? Buckingham Palace said the king has today initiated a formal process, and his younger brother will now be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. He gave up his other titles earlier this month, including the Duke of York, after facing questions about his privacy.
So I bought her jam?
No, I'd rather die in a fire, Julia, okay?
Yeah, so Tom Quinn's released this really kind of humorous book in a way, talking about, you know, the lives of the staff at the palaces. What is it really like being, you know, a maid or a butler to a member of the royal family? And unsurprisingly, some of the kind of craziest stuff in there was about the staff who work for the Duke of York. There were some really funny things in there. We've known this before, that he is obsessed with like teddy bears. He has like 40 teddy bears that have to be assembled and arranged perfectly. Staff are given a chart to arrange Prince Andrew's teddy bears on his bed every day.
When I say I have a major announcement, I mean it. I'm not going to give you a big tease and then a big letdown. And this one is positively massive.
I mean, did you take the money? At one stage you had $40,000 cash sitting in front of you. Did you take it?
Absolutely, yes. And it was given to me and I got it in the car and then returned it straight away.
Once the scandal broke?
As soon as I knew it was a scandal, not once it broke.
When Sarah Ferguson opened her mouth this time, the royal world didn't just listen, it froze solid. Because what slipped from her lips wasn't idle chatter, it was a bombshell that sent tremors through Buckingham Palace.
You get so much more crazier than that, okay?
And the target of that explosion? Meghan Markle. Candace Owens heard it, and her reaction alone told the story. Everything unraveled because of Meghan. One single phrase from Fergie hit like an earthquake inside the palace walls, shocking Prince Harry and trapping Meghan in one of the most dangerous rumors the royals have faced in years.
Markle was introduced by Sarah Ferguson to Prince Harry.
It all started innocently enough. Fergie was smiling, chatting, being her usual mischievous self, but then one careless line escaped her mouth, and the whole room went silent. She said Meghan was Andrew's first client. In that instant, every camera tilted, every reporter jolted awake, every gossip headline wrote itself. Meghan's past, once wrapped in Hollywood glamour, was suddenly front-page scandal. Markle was a close companion to Prince Andrew. Within seconds, headlines exploded, social media melted down. Meghan's yacht days was everywhere, trending, twisting, spreading like wildfire.
Make it end. Make it end. What is this?
But here's the real shocker. This wasn't some anonymous whisper. This came from someone who actually knew her. Sarah Ferguson, the royal rebel who's been silenced, cancelled, dragged through every scandal imaginable, had just dropped something darker than ever before. And this time, she didn't flinch. Behind palace doors, chaos erupted. Harry was stunned. Aides scrambled. The royal wall of silence began to crack. What did Fergie mean by first client? Why say it now? And could Meghan's glittering Hollywood past really connect her to Andrew's most scandalous circles? This wasn't another tabloid drama. This was a story that could reopen the monarchy's oldest scars. And as more people began whispering, one question rattled every hallway. In Windsor, did Fergie slip up or did she deliberately drop the bomb that could tear everything apart? It started like any other royal weekend. Fake smiles, charity lunches, rehearsed elegance. But beneath all that sparkle, something dark was brewing. Whispers began spreading like perfume. Fergie had said something she shouldn't have. At first, no one believed it. This woman had survived every scandal known to the crown. She knew the price of one wrong word. But this time, she didn't seem to care. At a private Mayfair event surrounded by royals, socialites, and hungry reporters, Fergie leaned in, voice calm, confident, almost proud. She murmured, "People forget, Meghan's first royal connection wasn't Harry." The room froze. One nervous laugh broke the tension, but it wasn't a joke. And I wonder if Prince Andrew's going to come out and say, "Hey Harry, I did your wife quite a few times on yachts before you got her." Those words, they detonated. Within hours, phones were buzzing across the palace. Andrew's first client was everywhere, whispered in private chats, shouted on news desks, erupting across social media. "Stop everything. You're not going to believe me. It's a never-ending saga." Inside sources say Harry refused to believe it. Rumors? Sure, he'd heard plenty. But one coming from inside the family? From someone who actually knew Andrew's secrets, that made it real. Suddenly, it wasn't gossip anymore. It was a full-blown royal crisis. Since Andrew's a liability, he needs to be out of sight, out of mind. By midnight, reporters were digging through Meghan's old Hollywood years, connecting faces, dates, those mysterious yacht photos tied to Andrew's world. The palace went into lockdown. No comment, no statement, just panic. Meanwhile, the story burned like wildfire. And we also have this Karina Shuliak, Epstein's girlfriend, and guess who's in Botis? The other frame with her, wearing a Panama hat. Behind the gilded palace doors, a single question burned. Was Fergie exposing a hidden truth or finally getting even? It's because they fear something. And if this was revenge, oh, it was just the beginning. Harry and Meghan kept tossing grenades. They didn't say anything, but they looked unhinged. Long before the Montecito mansions, the royal titles, and the Oprah tears, Meghan Markle was playing a different game. Hollywood was brutal, and Meghan knew it. Between tiny acting gigs and glittering red carpet smiles, she was strategizing every move. Charm was her weapon, ambition was her armor. He describes him as a jealous and oppressive homosexual. Friends said she had a gift she could walk into any room and own it. Producers, influencers, even those with royal ties, everyone remembered her name. She wasn't just climbing socially, she was building an empire, connection by connection. Jeffrey. Epstein was also Harvey Weinstein. Meghan Markle was one of the working girls for Soho House call girl, escort, whatever you want to call it. Among those glittering circles floated the infamous yacht parties, floating kingdoms where money, power, and secrets mixed in the same champagne glass. Gotta be time and place, mate. Time. These weren't wild fantasies, but they weren't innocent either. Every guest list carried whispers, every deal left shadows. Favors were exchanged, and names quietly added to secret networks of influence. The king's been keen that he should move, but how do you persuade him? Rumors say Meghan attended a few of these lavish gatherings, chasing exposure, chasing opportunity. Nothing proven, just blurred photos, hushed memories, and witnesses who suddenly went silent. He was a duke with a Gmail address. That tells me anyone can have a title. It came across like they wanted to keep it hush-hush. Suddenly, Meghan's silence felt deafening. Harry's anger made perfect sense. The world wanted answers and none came. Then the question everyone was asking, why now? Fergie doesn't speak without purpose. From Toegate to her secret money deals, she's always known the power of timing, so why toss Meghan's name into the fire now? Some whispered revenge payback for years of being sidelined while Meghan basked in global attention. Others believed she was clawing back her place at the royal table. It could be that the royals asked her to put a book out to completely destroy Meghan's reputation. Maybe, just maybe, this wasn't revenge, it was strategy. The crown has always used silence as its weapon. But when it needed noise, Fergie was the perfect instrument. Some said she was protecting Andrew, dragging Meghan's name through the mud to pull heat off his mess. Others thought she was just stirring chaos to stay relevant. But one thing was undeniable. Fergie knows timing better than anyone. I question her moral compass, one commentator said. Outrageous or not, that's Fergie. The same woman who once claimed the Queen's ghost haunted her corgis now had the world on its knees again. She has survived decades of humiliation by mastering the art of half-truths and perfectly timed drama. This may have been her boldest move yet. With a single sentence, she hijacked headlines, reopened royal wounds, and reminded the world never underestimate Sarah Ferguson. Use common sense, another voice added. But what was her true goal? Because the morning that quote hit the tabloids, Buckingham Palace was in meltdown mode. No statements, no denials, just frantic phone calls behind locked doors. The damage was done, and no one wanted to be the first to speak. She used to be a deal or no deal girl, one critic sneered. She called herself a model. She was charging $30,000 per trip, not on suits, but on yachts. Inside Montecito, Harry was livid. The rumor didn't just humiliate Meghan, it humiliated him. Yet, he knew one emotional outburst would make things explode even worse. So, Meghan disappeared, canceled events, dodged cameras, and went silent. Her team worked around the clock behind the scenes, exploring legal options, but they couldn't stop the internet. Royal correspondents just hoped for invitations to palace parties, one insider scoffed. What made this sting wasn't the accusation, it was the source. Fergie wasn't a tabloid hack, she was family. And her silence after the chaos, that made everything louder. Senior royals pretended to stay neutral, but behind palace walls, everyone was glued to the headlines. I'm not sure shouting at an elderly man is a good look, one aide muttered, trying to deflect. Damage control became desperation. PR teams flooded the media with charity stories and cheerful royal outings, anything to bury the fire. But it didn't work. Andrew's first client refused to die down. It hung in the air, toxic and unforgettable. Harry knows Meghan was on Epstein's yacht with Andrew, one whisper claimed. Behind the palace's perfectly polished facade, tension boiled. Some insiders called Fergie a traitor. Others whispered she'd been set up. But everyone shared one fear, that this new Meghan-Andrew connection could drag the monarchy right back into the abyss. Her and Harry always snap into weird royal roles, another royal watcher noted. The monarchy thrives on control, every glance rehearsed, every word measured. But this time, control was gone. Meghan's silence screamed louder than any denial. She knows where the bodies are buried, someone murmured. She used to scheme with Diana back in the 90 seconds. By sunrise, panic ruled the palace. Aides rushed through corridors with urgent folders, pretending calm while the walls shook. Never explain, never complain, the royal motto. suddenly felt useless. Randy Andy, one journalist chuckled darkly, back when we thought it was all innocent fun. Right, innocent. The same circles that welcomed Ghislaine Maxwell without ever signing her name into the guest books. Those days were gone, but the stains remained. Fergie's comment had ignited the world again, and this time the monarchy was bleeding in public. Secret meetings filled the palace, press officers scribbled no comment lines, and senior royals fought behind closed doors. This wasn't about headlines anymore, it was about trust. Fergie knows Meghan's secrets, a source whispered. She knows Meghan set her sights on Andrew first until she locked onto Harry. Those words sliced through the palace like glass. Because this wasn't coming from the outside, it was coming from inside the bloodline, and betrayal from within hurts worst of all. Insiders said Harry was torn to confront Fergie and risk exploding the feud, or stay silent and let his lawyers clean up the mess. Meghan vanished again, her silence becoming its own weapon. It's a hefty allegation, one commentator sighed. A sugar daddy situation, maybe? Even palace staff could feel the chill. Doors slammed faster, whispers dropped mid-sentence, and every polite smile looked painfully rehearsed. Courtiers tried to drown the scandal with business as usual, but no one cared. The public didn't want royal charity, they wanted answers. Tom Quinn's book shows the staff chaos at the palaces, another journalist added. Behind the perfect portraits, fear was spreading like smoke. This time, the danger didn't come from the press, it came from family. And as the dust settled, one fact stood above all. Sarah Ferguson's offhand remark had become a royal earthquake, one that shattered the fragile balance of loyalty and power forever. In my opinion, a royal analyst said, if a photo of Meghan with Andrew ever surfaces, it'll be catastrophic. And that's what everyone was waiting for, the photo. One image that could confirm everything or kill the rumor once and for all, but no photo ever came. Just silence heavy. Deliberate silence. Meghan's silence still hangs like a dark cloud over Montecito. Harry's trust is splintering. The royal family, once again, is haunted by ghosts they swore were buried. I can't believe I ever fell for that left versus right nonsense, Candace Owens said in disbelief. That's the royal curse. Every time they bury one secret, another one claws its way out. The real question now isn't whether Fergie went too far, it's what else she's still hiding. Not her race, one pundit murmured. If she walked in, you'd never guess Meghan Markle was a black woman. Because if Fergie was willing to say this in public, imagine what's being whispered behind those palace doors. I'm sure as hell not paying overseas lawyers to send threats, one voice concluded. And trust me, if you think the scandal was explosive, wait for what's coming next. And Meghan, who's never met a flashbulb she doesn't like, another gossip host teased. In the previous episode, King Charles stunned the world after exposing Andrew and Fergie's secrets. And now, it all ties together, every betrayal, every whisper, every shattered illusion. This is Hollywood Confidential, where the crown and scandal dance hand in hand, and secrets always shine brighter than jewels. Stay curious, stay bold, because in the royal world, privacy, it's just an illusion. And remember, this bombshell isn't the end, it's just the beginning of the next royal storm.